What you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Hey, I'm Amy Chang. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and this is Healthy AF. In this podcast, I'll be bringing you all things health, from the newest health strategies to how to tackle those personal roadblocks that just will not let you move forward. So buckle in. We're going to be inspired and instructed, and dadgum, we're going to have a little fun on Healthy AF. Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Healthy AF. I'm Amy Chang. I'm a coach at Healthy Life, Health and Wellness Coaching. That's a mouthful. I get to help people take shame out of their lives and actually put in self-love, and then all those healthy choices that follow when we live in self-love. Today we're going to be talking about perfectionism. It's a trap, man. You know, usually I pick the subjects for these podcasts based on what either I'm dealing with and also is coming to me, or what is coming to me. And here lately, I've been in conversations with people that have been just steeped in perfectionism. So we're going to do a two-part series on this. I can't talk about perfectionism without talking about that nasty other thing that accompanies it, complacency. So we're going to talk about complacency in the second episode. This first episode is just going to be dedicated to what you can do to move from being inside the trap of perfectionism into action and not stuck or overworking. Okay, so let's set the mood. You're starting something new and you have set up a schedule for yourself that is just perfect. Let's say you haven't been to the gym. It's been 5-10 years since you've been to the gym. You're going to start the gym. You're going to go all 5 days this week. You're going to start at 5:30 a.m. You're up at 5. Everything is going well. You're going to do it. Except you're not. Because it's a brand new behavior and it's nearly impossible to be perfect at it. So you dig at yourself in the not enough. Maybe you make it to the gym all 5 days, but you didn't work as hard as everybody else. Maybe you make it 3 days, but you're so sore on the 4th day that you just can't go. Maybe you get to the gym, but then you find out you can't do the movements that they're doing. And you're like, forget it. This is not for me. So just do a double check where you're at. If you can relate to any of that, I know I can. Let me share with you how perfectionism usually shows up for me and some of the ways that it shows up for my clients. We either get stuck by this perfectionistic trap and we think like, yeah, that gym isn't for me. I'm not going to do it. Or I tried that and, it was just way too hard. Clearly not something that I'm able to do. So I'm not going back. Or we double down. This is one of my favorites. We double down on, okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to get strong. I'm going to be there every time they open the doors. I'm going to conquer this new behavior. And then a couple things might happen. We either get injured because we're no longer 25, we're 50 couple, and we've just tried to force full blast perfectionism in something that our body has had no intention of doing over the last 5 years. Or we achieve that sense of perfectionism. Now, you might say, why is that a problem? Because for many of us, if we are struggling with perfectionism, the moment we achieve what we deem as perfection, the thrill is gone. There's really no sense of big achievement. We get bored and we move forward. And we drop that new habit like a hot potato. So take a check in. Can you relate to either of those situations? The getting stuck by your perfectionism, or the doubling down and getting completely obsessed until you either, lose a leg or completely achieve it and is like, I'm done with that now, on to the next. Yeah, I can totally relate to both of those. And sometimes I'm a double downer, and sometimes I'm I didn't really want to do that anyway. And you can apply that to all areas of your life. I have done that in my business. I have done that in my physical fitness. I have certainly done that in my nutrition. I can't tell you how many times I have gone for 100% perfect diet, whatever it is I'm trying to eat. If I'm trying to hit my protein numbers that day, if I am trying to eat whole foods that day, it's never I'm going to, eat whole foods on Monday because I haven't had whole foods in the last, 3 months. So really, if I just have them on every Monday, it's a win. No, it's never that. It's always like, okay, no, I totally need to do whole foods. I don't want my brain to rot. I want my guts to feel good. I need to do whole foods. It's on. And about 3-4 days into that, when the wheels roll off the bus, I am likely to either really double down with a good full scoop of defeat and shame about I can't not be perfect, so I have to just keep doing it. I must not be smart enough, have enough willpower, might be too lazy, any of those things that I can use to get me out of the hole. And just nothing good comes of that. It might buy me another few days of eating well or meeting my goals that I have for my nutrition, but it never lasts. When I use that shame of perfection as a driver, there's no fulfillment, fun times in that. There's ticking off the boxes. And that just doesn't last. And that's opposed to the stuckness of putting a tiptoe in and then deciding it's way too hard and failure feels bad. And maybe I'm not good at it anyway. And maybe I don't really want that anyway. So I'll just stay right here. Also, not my highest and best self. So that's how perfectionism keeps me small and limited in the things I will both try to do and do for a long period over time. Now, when we talk about any habits, if you're a fan of Atomic Habits, you know that James Clear loves to say 1% growth over time gets you where you want to go. And I'm a firm believer in that. So perfectionism, the trap of perfectionism, either keeps us not starting 1% at all or jumping to, 110%, but only being able to maintain that for 2 weeks. And then it's gone. So what do you do when you recognize that you tend to fall into a perfectionist trap? Here's how this podcast actually originated. I had a friend that I went to work out with this morning, and I'd never gone to this specific place to work out. It was just an outdoor group that kind of did a boot campy kind of thing. I needed a good workout with people, and it sounded like fun. Well, this friend of mine that I went with has been going for maybe, a few months now. There was a time that she needed to take a break from her exercise, and she did that. And it was time for her to go back. And so she has now started her exercise program. And she had asked me a couple days ago about a movement and if I could share any tips or technique on her movement in this specific move. I think it was a push-up. And so we went to work out today, and lo and behold, we had some push-ups. So I eyeballed her out of the corner of my eye to see how she actually did her push-ups. See, maybe like I had a tip to give her if she wanted it. So we got in the car after our workout, and I said, I do think that I have some helpful hints on your movement patterns if you want them. And she said something so beautiful in response to that. She says, yes, I would like that. I'm ready for that now. I wasn't ready for that before I had already started going. And we got into this whole conversation about perfectionism and how it can really snag us when we try to start a new behavior and be perfect at it. So I was just letting my mind wander today while I was walking the dog and thinking about perfectionism and how is it that I can move myself out of it and help everyone else understand how to move themselves out of it. It's levels. Okay, stick with me here. If you know anything about learning and setting new habits, you know that the hot thing is gamify. You've got to gamify everything. You know, as a health coach, I get there are so many apps out there now for positive health habits that gamify your habit. If you mark that you've done that habit, you might get something, a little reward. My kid had a friend and they were on an app and it was for self-care. It was a great app. It was for self-care. And they had these little pets. I think like one was a penguin, maybe. I think they were birds. And every time that my daughter or her friend charted in their app that they had done some self-care, their bird got taken care of. And so they could use those little self-care points to buy their bird's accessories, like, a purse or a bird bath, or like give their bird a facial. And it was brilliant, right? It was gamifying. It was making fun. It was creating levels. See, when we open an app and it's a little game, even Bejeweled, you don't start on the hardest level because nobody would play that game. You start on the easy level. And as you accomplish that level, then you go to the next level. And then you go to the next level after that. That's how gamifying games or self-care apps or behavior apps or language learning apps. The Duolingo does that same thing, right? That's why gamifying it works, because we don't have to start out at perfect. They make us start out at like you could be half brain dead and make a row of 3 on the Bejeweled. So what does that look like when we pull that aspect of leveling into our healthy habits? Well, I wrote down just a few, and I want to see if this will sit with you, and I'd love to hear your feedback on this. It really resonated with me. For me, the gamifying suckers you in. So think of leveling as a way to sucker yourself in to that habit, and it might look like this. Level 1 is, did I go to the gym? Did I go? That's it. That's how you get the prize for level 1. You just go to the gym. Level 2 is, am I going consistently without a whole lot of resistance? That's your prize. Celebrate. Do the happy dance. I've gone to the gym pretty consistently for the last 3 months. I don't even think about it anymore. I get up, I put on my exercise clothes, I grab my coffee, I'm out the door, right? Don't even think about it. I don't hate it anymore. I'm not schluffling through my bedroom trying to find my shoe. No, I'm laying my shoes out in the bathroom now. Those things, that's your level 2. If you don't recognize that you're in that level, Shame on you. Appreciate yourself and your growth. That's level 2. Level 3 might be, am I getting better? And there's so many facets to this. Am I getting stronger? Am I having more stamina? Am I getting faster? Is my technique better? Am I more comfortable now at the gym or in my exercise routine? Do I feel less insecure? Am I wondering less, am I doing this right? Right? That's level 3. Like, wow, am I getting better? Yes, no. When you pass that level, you might hit level 4. Is it easy? Is it easy? And what I've written on my notes is you can only keep getting better for so long. Now, if you rewind the tape to what we just said about perfectionism, and sometimes we go in, we have a little struggle, we double down, dig deep, and we achieve it, and then there's nowhere to go, so we let go of it and move on. Level 4 is sort of that similar spot, but with a different mindset. Level 4 is it getting easy? Okay. Having started CrossFitting at 34 and now being 52, there was a time that it did get easier for me, but my body's going to not perform, as I age. I can't imagine at 82 having the same lifting totals that I do at 52. It would be great, but I don't see that happening. So how do I, in my perfectionistic mind, not get lost in that, right? So consider your levels carefully. Level 4 is it easy? You can only get better for so long. So now you get to go to level 5. And level 5 is where the real growth happens. Up until now, we've just been establishing a habit. We've been going consistently. Level 3 is like, okay, now I'm digging down into what else can I do on my technique? Am I getting faster? Am I getting stronger? I think I'm going to try to shave a little bit off that 5K time. I think I'm going to just increase that PR just by 5%. Level 4 is like, wow, I'm cruising. Great. Once you hit level 4, welcome to level 5. Level 5 is when you start creative experimentation. Stay with me. This is where you gamify your game. This is where you create challenges. So the way I see this is in my workouts now at 52, I can't look back and say is my PR bigger than my other PR of 10 years ago? No. I'm not lifting as heavy as I was lifting 10 years ago. So I can go into the gym every day and be disappointed because I'm not lifting as heavy as I was 10 years ago. Or I can gamify it. I wonder how much I can lift today. I want to see if I can hit that one weight on my deadlift without any change in my lumbar structure at all. I want to see if I can focus in on really driving with my legs and see if I can get my hamstrings to come in and play a little bit faster. I want to see if in these 45 wall balls I'm doing, if I can do 15 at a time without breaking. You see how there are all these little experiments, all these little challenges we can give ourselves to maintain the gamification of that habit. Now, you might want to say, well, how else does that work? Does it work outside the gym? Well, sure, it works outside the gym. You can apply that to nutrition. You can apply that to sleep. You can apply that to your relationships. You can apply that to that spiritual fitness habit that might be lacking. There's all different kinds of ways you can apply leveling and gamifying your levels to knock you out of, I can be doing nothing or I can be doing everything perfectly. So I hope that gives you something for today. Using those levels to start hitting those middle zones and celebrating each level. Buy your penguin a hat when you hit level 2. Get your dog a facial when you hit level 3. Celebrate those levels. Start acknowledging all those levels because that keeps it fresh and fun. And when you keep it fresh, fun, and fulfilling, you're going to sustain that habit. And over time, that's where those results are. Those results are likely not in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 12 weeks, but those results are over 15 years. I hope that gives you something you can use today. Above all, please give yourself some grace and tune in next time where we talk about complacency on Healthy AF. See ya. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Healthy AF podcast. I hope that it has helped you create a new possibility for your health and sets you into action to go get it. If you want more information or if you want to connect with me, visit my website at myhealthylife.coach. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that each new Healthy AF episode will be sent directly to you. Let's take you from where you are to where you want to go.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.